Got my family hacked and buried in debt after thinking my wife was cheating and installing spyware. To catch her, now my daughter's college fund is gone. My wife says I deserve prison, and my whole family calls me a delusional monster who destroyed their lives. Throwaway, because this one needs to stay separate from my main account. I'm writing this because I don't know where else to vent and because I need people who aren't my family to read the truth the way I see it, not the version everyone else is pushing. For months, I noticed things that didn't add up. My wife started locking her phone, changing passwords, taking calls in the car, deleting texts. She started getting defensive when I asked simple questions about who she was with or what she was doing. She worked late a few times and said it was just extra at the office. She suddenly had a new social app I'd never seen before. Little stuff, but it added up. I asked her about it, and the reaction made me feel like I was crazy, accused of snooping, accused of paranoia, accused of not trusting her. I tried to be reasonable, and the more reasonable I tried to be, the more she painted me as the problem. That only made me look harder. I installed monitoring software. Not to hurt my daughter, not to ruin anyone. I did it because I didn't want to be lied to anymore. I wanted to see what she was doing on her phone and laptop because she wouldn't show me. I bought 2 different pieces of software. The first was a cheap one you can get from a small surveillance site, Trashware, really. The second I grabbed because the first started glitching and I kept finding gaps. I needed something that would give me real logs. Call it stupid, call it illegal, but at the time it felt like a necessary measure. I thought if I had proof, then we could deal with it. I thought truth solves things. At first, the stuff I saw looked like what anyone would call proof. Messages to coworkers that read like flirting, photos of dinners with names I didn't recognize, call logs with numbers that were labeled in shorthand. Little things that stacked and made a pattern in my head. I didn't take it to family or friends. I didn't post it. I sat on it and watched for more. When I confronted her with what I'd seen, she denied everything, yelled at me for betraying her privacy, and walked out. That reaction only pushed me further. If she had nothing to hide, she would have been upset about the spying, sure, but she wouldn't have reacted like she did. People who are guilty get emotional, they get defensive, they get loud. I thought I had her. Then, everything went sideways. My Wi-Fi started freaking out. My work account locked me out randomly. Strange pop-ups started appearing on family devices. I chalked it up to the spyware being buggy. I didn't know then that the second program I installed had a backdoor. I didn't know that by installing a program from a crooked vendor I had opened a door for someone else. Within a week my bank changed their login even though I hadn't asked for it. Then my credit card declined on my wife's grocery card. Then the calls started from banks. It took a day to recognize the pattern. They drained the accounts that were linked to the family profile. Most of it came from transfers that looked legit at first glance, wires out to places with names that meant nothing to me. And then the worst hit, my daughter's college fund, the one my wife and I saved for years and had labeled and set aside for her future, emptied into an offshore chain and vanished. I won't lie. When I first saw the account statements and the transfers, the first thing that came to mind was my wife. In my head, the only person who could have set this up was someone who knew the passwords, had access to devices, and had the motive to hurt me. I told her straight away, accused her of doing it or of being involved. She screamed. She threatened to call the cops. She changed all the passwords she could, and she told me I deserved everything that was coming. Then she left with our daughter and said she was going to file reports. She made it clear she thought I deserved prison. She said I destroyed our family. Let me be clear. I did not personally wire the money out. I did not sit at my computer and type in the transfers that took the college fund, but everything points back to the spyware I installed. The program had credentials saved. Somewhere between me installing it and the drains happening, someone used that access. And because I installed it, people are holding me responsible. The company that made the software stopped answering emails. The vendor is a ghost. My IP logs and purchase history tie back to me. My wife's employer's IT team traced a leak back to our home network because her work laptop had the infection on it. Their legal team told her she needs to report it. Her company is now involved. Her boss is annoyed. Her job is on the line. My wife blames me for that too. Everyone blames me. My parents found out when their joint account showed odd activity. My father had cash set aside and that got hit too. People are screaming that I'm a monster who brought this plague down on them. My brother told me to get help or get lost. My sister said I should never see my daughter again. It's been non-stop judgment. I see the headlines in their calls delusional, criminal, narcissist. It's easier for them to point the finger than to accept how this whole chain started with my decision to watch my wife. If anyone has seen anything like this happen, spyware leading to a wider breach, cheap monitoring software that turned into a backdoor, vendors disappearing, tell me what to do. And if you're going to call me a monster, at least read the whole thing before you do it. I'm not trying to dodge blame. I'm trying to explain how one bad choice collapsed everything around me. But what pisses me off is how fast everyone turned on me. Nobody's asking how this happened or who really did it. Everyone's just pointing fingers. My wife gets to act like the victim because I violated her privacy when she's the one who made me suspicious in the first place. She's out there with lawyers, co-workers defending her, and I'm here being treated like some psycho who wanted to sabotage my own family. I tried getting in touch with the spyware company through another email account, but the domain name's gone. Every site that sold that software just redirects to blank pages or unrelated ads. I checked a few online forums and saw people complaining about similar stuff: hacked accounts, money disappearing, devices freezing. It's like whoever made that program used it to infect thousands of people at once. Update 1. I've lost everything, not just my marriage, not just my money, but my entire family. After my post, I tried to stay calm and handle things logically. I reached out to the bank, contacted fraud investigators. My wife's company finished their internal review and pinned the breach directly on me. Their official report said the origin of unauthorized data access came from my home network and was traced back to my device. They attached screenshots, logs, timestamps. Everything looked like it came from me. Her employer made her sign a liability agreement saying if she stays married to me, they won't renew her contract. She told me this over email, cold, short, no emotion. I called her dozens of times after that. No answer. Then I got served a restraining order. The document said I'm not allowed within 300 feet of her or my daughter. I couldn't believe it. I'm the one who got hacked, and somehow I'm the one treated like a criminal. I lost my job a few days after. HR said they received anonymous information, linking me to cyber activity involving client data. My boss wouldn't even look me in the eye when he told me I was being let go for security reasons. And then the worst part hit. My dad called me, or rather, he screamed at me. Apparently, his retirement fund was drained too. The same pattern of withdrawals, same accounts linked. I didn't even know our information was connected, but apparently years ago, I helped him set up online access through my laptop. That must have given whatever software I installed a backdoor to his accounts. $40,000 gone. Just like that. He called me a curse, said everything I touch rots. My mom wouldn't even get on the phone. My brother sent me a single text that said, "Stay away from us." That's it. I know what everyone's going to say, that this is my fault, that I did this to myself, but I swear, I didn't know this would happen. I was only trying to find the truth. I didn't touch my dad's money, or my wife's, or anyone's. The spyware did all this, not me. I told them that, but no one believes it. I've been staying in this cheap motel for weeks. The walls smell like mold and cigarettes, and the Wi-Fi barely works. I use burner accounts now because my real ones are flagged. Every time I log in anywhere, I get locked out. It's like someone's watching everything I do. My wife's coworkers apparently talk about me like I'm some hacker psycho who tried to ruin their company. I found out she's already filed for divorce. My daughter's school updated their emergency contact list. I'm not on it anymore. My wife listed her boss instead. The only people who believe me, or at least say they do, are a few randoms I met online. People who also use the same spyware service. We started talking on a small tech forum after I saw posts describing almost identical things: drained accounts, stolen identities, ruined marriages. Turns out it wasn't just me. There's a pattern. Some of them traced the data trail further than I could. One guy said parts of the source code point back to a shell company registered in Estonia. Another claims it's tied to a cybersecurity firm that's been under investigation for laundering crypto. None of this is public, but if it's true, it explains everything. I told my parents about that, thinking they'd at least see I wasn't crazy. My dad said, "You'll say anything to make yourself the victim." He hung up before I could finish explaining. Now I'm alone in this room with nothing but my laptop and these strangers online who keep feeding me bits of information about where the data went. Some of them are convinced it's still being used, like, actively. One guy said he found proof that my wife's credentials are part of an ongoing sale on the dark web. He sent screenshots, but I couldn't open the file. It kept crashing my computer. I know what that sounds like, but it doesn't feel like a coincidence anymore. None of this does. Every night, I think about the moment it all started, that stupid hunch that she was hiding something. If I hadn't installed that app, maybe we'd still be a family. Maybe my daughter's future wouldn't have been erased, but part of me still thinks I wasn't wrong. She was hiding things. She was too calm when everything started falling apart, too quiet when my accounts vanished, like she already knew. I'm not saying she did it herself, but she might have known someone who could. When I look back now, there were signs. She used to laugh when I'd talk about online security, said I was obsessed with tracking everything. She never wanted me near her work laptop. She said it had confidential files, but maybe that was just the excuse. I know everyone's tired of hearing me say I'm innocent, but I can't shake this feeling that she's not as blameless as she looks. The timing of it all, the way her company pinned everything on me before the investigation even ended, how fast she got legal protection, none of that feels like coincidence. I'm broke, blacklisted from my field, and treated like I'm contagious. My parents hate me. My wife wants me in jail, and my daughter probably thinks I'm some monster who ruined her life. But if I'm going to be painted as that monster, then maybe it's time I stop pretending to be the victim. Everyone says to move on, but I can't. Not until I know exactly who did this. Update 2 months have passed since everything collapsed. One of the guys from the forums I talked about in my last post showed me how to trace IP addresses from the logs. I followed a few of them and noticed something. Some of these addresses aren't random. They're not some faceless hacker sitting in Russia. They lead to real people, people close to me, people who I know, people who are supposed to care. I know what that sounds like. Crazy. But it's true. I created a group chat with a few of these people. We call it the Accountability Circle, even though it's really just a revenge network. We're not just whining about losing money anymore. We're tracking who caused it, who benefited, and who didn't even care. Some of these guys are obsessed too. Some are angry. I fit right in. We talk about tracing IPs, recovering what we can, even exposing people. It's not a game. None of us have anything left to lose. I've started posting screenshots to the group, small bits of proof I've gathered. They all say the same thing, the same company, the same patterns. But then it started to get personal. One IP traced back to an address that belongs to my wife's work. I know what people will think. They'll say I'm delusional. But I know she's involved. She thought I wouldn't find out. She underestimated me. I haven't told anyone outside the group. The comments here in the past say, everyone thinks I'm the reason things went wrong. I'm the idiot, the husband who went crazy, the hacker who ruined his family. But that's not true. I didn't ruin anyone. I just looked. I just traced. I just saw what they were hiding. I'm not posting any more personal info here. Don't want another legal mess, but I needed to say this because people need to understand that losing everything doesn't mean I stopped. I'm not done. I'm not broken. I'm just more focused, more patient, more careful. People think I'm spiraling, but I'm organizing. This isn't about money anymore. This is about proof, about accountability, about making sure that people who hurt families, who manipulate, who hide behind screens, can't just get away with it. My family thinks I'm a monster. Maybe they're right, but monsters don't give up. Monsters don't get destroyed. Monsters watch, they learn, and they wait. They think they've seen the worst of me. They haven't. Final update. It's been a year since everything fell apart. My wife left. My daughter's college fund is gone. My parents won't speak to me. And any friends I thought I had disappeared when they realized who I really am. I've been living off whatever I could scrape together, moving from one cheap motel to another. No social media. No bank accounts I can trust. Just a phone I barely use and the constant hum of anxiety. Therapy, court dates, and investigators breathing down my neck became my entire life. I should be broken, and I am, but not the way they imagine. I spent months trying to fix it. I tracked forums, analyzed logs, messaged people who'd been burned by the same spyware I installed. I tried to find someone, anyone, to help me make sense of it. Screenshots, timestamps, IP traces. We called ourselves an accountability circle, but it never really worked. People drifted away, got scared, or ended up in worse situations than I was. Some of the patterns I followed led nowhere. Some led to dead ends. Some led to places that were too late to save. I thought I could salvage something. I thought if I could just prove who was behind it all, maybe I could make them pay. Maybe I could claw something back. But every IP, every log, every connection ended in disappointment. Nothing connected like I wanted it to. Every lead crumbled. My wife's company, safe. My daughter, still paying the price of my mistakes. My family, completely gone. The last few months I had left, I spent in silence. No digital traces, no plans, just trying to survive. The motel room smelled like bleach and old carpets. My food came from convenience stores. My sleep was broken. My health deteriorated. Everything I built in my paranoia, every accountability circle and strategy, had collapsed. It wasn't just my family or money I lost, it was my life. I thought I could forgive. I tried to let go of hate. But forgiveness doesn't work when there's nothing left to save. My daughter barely knows me. My wife doesn't care. My parents treat me like a ghost. The networks I thought I controlled? Non-existent. The people I thought were allies? Gone. Even my own mind turned against me. Nights of replaying everything over and over, obsessing over every detail, and realizing it was all for nothing. I am left with nothing. No money, no family, no future, no dignity, just the echoes of every choice I made, every suspicion I acted on, every line of code I ran that destroyed the lives I claimed to protect. I thought monsters survive. I thought monsters endure. I thought monsters evolve. But monsters can also be destroyed. Monsters can end up in motels with a phone that barely works, wondering if they've ever really been awake at all. I used to watch the fire. Now all I watch is the ash. They called me delusional. They called me insane. They said I ruined everything. They were right. I did. I've learned now there is no coming back from this. No revenge, no redemption, no second chance. Nothing. Everything I had is gone, and all that remains is me, staring at the ruins, knowing I brought it all down myself.